require automatic expulsion of the members of the Senate and Assembly and other governmental officials convicted of an egregious Class A misdemeanor offense. The Public Offices Law of New York, Chapter 3, Section 30, Paragraph E, is the only state law that provides for the automatic removal of a public officer, including senators and assembly members. Current law provides for the expulsion only upon conviction of a felony prior to term expiration. My bill would amend and expand this section of the Public Offices Law to include automatic expulsion for conviction of violent misdemeanor offenses. Now let me underscore that this automatic expulsion is only for actions solely committed or engaged in after the oath of office has been taken. My bill removes speculation over which misdemeanor offense should result in expulsion. It is my view that in the absence of a clear, lawfully established set of standards, reviewing these incidents on a case-by-case basis poses a slippery legal slope and denies voters their choice. Anything short of having legal standards in place, we are obligated to always let the voters decide. Now, again, I want to underscore that we're about 7 months from a primary election. These egregious Class A misdemeanors, as defined in the New York Penal Code, include assault in the 3rd degree, sexual misconduct, sexual abuse in the 2nd degree, arson in the 5th degree, aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree involving physical contact, endangering the welfare of a minor, endangering the welfare of an incompetent or physically disabled person. This bill strengthens and clarifies the Public Offices Law and obviates the need for the burdensome investigations and administrative procedures and distractions that have defined us for more than a year now. We'll now take some questions.
Senator, would this bill apply to Senator Montserrat?
It will not. This is prospective.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, the reason for this bill is that we have been engaged in a process that has lacked clarity, that has lacked fairness, and taken a tremendous amount of time. Obviously, the need for this legislation comes at a time when the Senate and the legislature is looking to reform many aspects of what guides its work. This is a quantum leap forward in making sure that the distractions that have defined the so-called Montserrat case or any case that comes in the future will have absolute clarity. There will be automatic expulsion for conviction of a felony and these egregious misdemeanors.
Senator, would it be your position if this became law that if if a elected official did not meet the criteria, being convicted of either felony or these specific Class A misdemeanors, that then they would not be expelled, that they could not be expelled?
This sets forth the specific criteria.
And if they didn't meet that criteria, there'd be no option on the part of the
well, I think there's plenty of room here, and so this does not get rid of options. It defines the specific criteria that should lead to expulsion, be that a felony or these misdemeanors. And I should add that I'm anxious to hear from my colleagues as to what their thoughts are on the specifics. Today we filed is 6727, Senate bill. I'm seeking co-sponsors. I'll have a public hearing or two on it, and so it's an open process that I hope to have many opinions on and recommendations on.
Would it be unlawful to try to put through a bill that would retroactively apply to somebody like Senator Montserrat, or would it be lawful to do that and you've just elected not to do so?
I think it would be unlawful, and I don't think it would be the America that we know and we cherish.
Senator, would it apply to actions that have taken place prior to being elected to office?
No.
Senator, what kind of discussions have you had with Senator Montserrat about this legislation? Do you hope he'll be a sponsor of the bill? Do you hope to work with him on it? Have you discussed it with him at all?
I have not discussed the specifics of this bill with Senator Montserrat. What I have discussed with him and with all of you publicly is that I do not believe that we should have a case-by-case treatment of this matter, and that this kind of legislation is absolutely needed at this time moving forward.
And Senator, is this legislation in any way an attempt to preclude the Senate from taking action against Montserrat tomorrow when they're expected to?
No, this does not apply to anything that has happened in the past or that we're dealing with right now, other than it would give clarity to a situation that now would have us treat matters on a case-by-case basis and would lead to further litigation, clearly.
But your introduction of this wouldn't preclude the Senate from still taking a vote on whether
It
or
would
not
not.
to remove Senator
It would
Montserrat.
not. No, it would not.
Do you have support in the Senate for this bill? I mean, in the Assembly for this bill?
I would think that everyone engaged in this conversation of expulsion would want this kind of clarity, this kind of very defined proposal that says that we don't have to speculate, that we don't have to have conjecture, that we have specific guidelines in place.
But
now, why Class A misdemeanors?
Well, we looked at the full range of misdemeanors. Class A is the most serious of them, and violent misdemeanors were the ones that we chose. Again, I would be open to a conversation with other people as to whether or not they would want others included or some of these omitted. But this is our proposal after studying and researching it and looking at what we thought would be the most egregious or violent misdemeanors, and particularly focusing on the most vulnerable populations, children included.
If this isn't an effort to preclude an expulsion of Senator Montserrat, isn't this very late in this process? I mean, the committee's report has been out for almost a month now. It's been several months since Senator Montserrat was convicted of a Class A misdemeanor.
This is not the Montserrat law. This is a law that would move forward and give specific clarity on what governs expulsion. We know that we have to go back to the 1920s to look for guidance on this, or even in the 1700s to look for guidance on this. So clearly, this is very timely and long overdue.
Senator, will you vote for the expulsion of Senator Montserrat?
I will not.
What message does that send to women?
This is about how the Constitution of this state is written. This is about ambiguity in law. This is about something that is unprecedented. And my law is my answer to this problem, that we should have specific criteria that govern the expulsion of a member of the Senate, Assembly, or anywhere in this state where there is a public elected officer that is convicted of a felony or one of these Class A misdemeanors. That's what this is about.
But your bill notwithstanding, you don't think that sends a bad message to women? You're favoring keeping someone in office who's been convicted of this?
My specific response to your question as it relates to my vote of expulsion is that we do not have clarity on this. And so my answer with respect to do I vote for expulsion is no, because there is no set standards right now, and we cannot live in a state, in a United States of America that goes on a case-by-case basis. I wouldn't want that for you, and we shouldn't want it for anyone. What we do want is this proposal that gives it clarity and indeed gives justice to anyone that seeks to be expelled. But not just those individuals that are the subject of an expulsion proceeding. As you say, we owe the public, this is a privilege, and we owe them an ethics reform that is not imbued with such ambiguity. If it were that clear, you wouldn't have legal scholars split right down the middle. Legal scholars coming out that this is very disconcerting. Members of the Senate, good lawyers, saying that we are creating a slippery slope if we engage in a case-by-case basis.